Hello and welcome back to Haltech TV. Today we are looking at the Oblanc NC2-2 UFO headphones, and this is the review, the video review. If you want to see the unboxing, there'll be a link down below, and if you want to read the written review, there will also be a link down below. So let's get into it and have a look at these headphones by Oblanc. So I'm going to start off with the adapters, and I wanted to point them out really because they're a few things about them that I don't particularly like, and obviously I have to bring them up because they're like little niggles that I have, and as a reviewer, you know, I have to sort of point everything out because there might be some people out there that have a problem with it. So, because these headphones come with a 3.5mm jack that is compatible with smartphones, the microphone is going to need to be split from, you know, the 4-point connection jack. So here we have the adapter cable. Now you'll understand in a second why I have a problem with it, and it's just a generic adapter. Obviously this is just aesthetics that I have a problem with, but it's just a generic adapter, and it does its job, but it has no Oblanc branding on it. It just doesn't feel sort of special or premium. Like, it doesn't feel special to this particular product. It just feels like an added extra that they've had to throw in there. If they spent a little bit of time maybe designing a few connections for that adapter, then that would have made the full package a whole lot better. And here is the charging cable. Now my only problem with this is, again, obviously it's got no branding on, it's just a basic micro USB cable, but it's very thin, and that's not going to be a problem for most people. For some people it might even be a benefit, but it just feels very stiff and thin, and it works, it's functional like I said, but obviously it doesn't have that sort of aesthetic bonus. Now maybe the only reason I'm having a problem with this is because everything else is all sort of custom and specific to this product. But if you come across and have a look at the jack, obviously you've got this little tag here to tell you what the model name is, because this is the NC2-2, and that is because you get different versions of each pair of each chassis. So there's the NC2, which is this sort of outside, and then there's the -2, which means that it's the 2.1 variant. So as I was saying, maybe the only reason I have a problem with those cables is because you've got the custom jack here. Now I actually really like this jack. Maybe if I bring this cable, maybe if they'd made it sort of custom here so that it would sort of flow together, maybe even make it so that this cable can't be used with another product by making it so custom. But I really like this, and obviously you can see it's got the 4 points for the microphone as well. So yeah, moving on to the cable, we have a 1.2 meter cable. It is very thick, so you're not going to come across any problems in regards to stretching of the internal wires. I do like this cable. It's basic, which in a lot of respect is good. If you look at for example, if you look at the Beats headphones, everybody makes such a big fuss about those cables, and all they are is a thick red cable. It works. There's nothing bad about it, and too many companies try and put too much effort in, and it'd fail horrendously. So here we've got the microphone section. Obviously you've got your microphone here, but also if you have these headphones and you haven't noticed, because it took me quite a while to notice as well, there's a hidden button in here, and if you click that will, if you're in a phone call, that will mute your microphone if you've got these plugged in, or if you're not, in a phone call, it is for things like voice control and stuff, so you would hold it down and it would activate voice control. So that's a little, you know, I liked it. I thought it was a little sort of an extra that wasn't needed, but you know, it kind of puts a smile on your face at the same time, knowing that you have all of these little sort of extra bonuses. Moving on from there, you have the connection with the headphones themselves. This is a single-sided connection, and you have the rubber lip here to make it harder to pull it the cable away from the headphones. So secure connection there, secure connection in terms of the connector. The cable's thick, so you have no worries when it comes to the wires, which for a lot of headphones I actually have had problems with. Some of the headphones that I've used in the past that I thought the cables were adequate turned out not to be adequate, but these are definitely at least more than adequate. So you won't come into any problems when it comes to the cables with these headphones. So moving on from the headphone cable, moving on to the actual cups themselves. So moving on to the cups themselves, there's a lot of stuff that I want to cover, but in the video I won't have enough time to cover them. So if you want all of the information, all of the stuff in a lot more detail, I would head over to the written review, because I will be able to cover a lot more there. So starting off with, you have this glossy part. Depending on which one you buy, you can get them in various colours, and then when I say you can get them in various colours, it's the glossy part that will change. So you know, you can get them in, I think it's green, white, black, you know, I'm not sure what the rest of the colours are. I think there's silver as well. You can check out the website, or obviously check to see what is available for you. But that is the part that changes colour. Now, I like this part because everything else is matte, and this sort of adds a little bit of shine to it. But it has obviously caused a few problems. So as you can see, you know, you've got your volume and bass controls here, but where they've been cut out in terms of the glossy plastic, you can see that the cuts are slightly sort of sharp, and you know, it doesn't really have the same sort of degree of quality compared to the rest of the headphones. So while it being a slight problem in terms of obviously aesthetics again, it is still something I have to bring up. So as I've already covered, you have your volume control and your bass control, because these come with a inbuilt preamp. So you have them. You also have your on-off switch, which I don't know if you will be able to see in the video. When it's turned on, it's blue, and when it's turned off, obviously you don't have the light. When you charge them, it will turn red, and when you have them turned on and charging, it will obviously mix the red and the blue and give you purple. So leading on from that, we have the sort of metal grills here. Now, I'm not going to cover it too much, but because they're metal, I thought it would be a great thing for modders. Because it's metal, obviously it's easy to paint, it's easy to design. So if you were into modding and you wanted to spray paint those parts different colours, make your own little design on them, then, you know, I see that as a potential option for you guys. So that's a little feature that some headphones obviously won't give to you, because most of them are completely plastic. So moving on from that, again, you have your sliders up here, but I wanted to point out that there's quite a bit of Oblanc branding on the side here, on the side there, and it's obviously on the microphone port and the connection, the jack. Now, while they have included a lot of Oblanc branding, it doesn't seem like too much. So when you, if you were to look at it, it doesn't actually seem like they've plastered it everywhere, even though technically they probably have. So it does kind of work. Moving on again from those parts of the headphones. We have the sliders here. Now it does come with a sort of an inserted metal, I'd say metal bracket, metal bar. But what this is going to do is it's going to give it some sort of extra strength. Now, while this is a benefit, it also it makes me think, you know, how good is the quality of the plastic itself if the metal, you know, the plastic might be high quality plastic in terms of strength, but is the metal needed? Is the metal necessary? If we were to take out the metal, what would happen? So I obviously have to ask those questions. So you know, for now I'm just going to say, you know, it's an extra bonus having the metal there, because obviously it will give it a lot more strength than any sort of plastic essentially could. So yeah, moving on to the headband and the sort of foam parts of the cup. So the headband features a bit of padding. This is leatherette, so it's fake leather. It's not real leather, but it is still a sort of a good quality, nice feel fake leather. And obviously you can see there what sort of foam. What would you call it? Well, how firm the foam is. So it's not too firm, you know, I can still push it all the way down. And it's obviously not too soft either. And if we bring the cups up as well, you know, you have quite a bit of foam padding here, obviously to enclose your whole ear, and that is what they look like in terms of the density of the foam. So that is, in fact no, that isn't everything. I don't know if it's completely focused, but there you have your charging port as well for the battery for the inbuilt preamp. So I'll put you back on the tripod and I'll tell you about the performance of these headphones. So performance, now this is where I was completely shocked. Most new companies, they might make headphones that look good, they might have some nice designs, but when it comes to the performance, when it comes to the overall sound quality, that's where they normally fail. And it's, I mean, with these they are I mean, they're shocking at how good they are and how adaptable they are. So if you were to, for example, use them for music, because they have a controllable bass, because, you know, they have the inbuilt preamp, because you can control the bass and turn it down and turn the preamp off if you want, you can have them as pretty much just normal headphones. And when you're using them like that, they do still compare to, for example, the last pair of headphones I did was the MDR XB400s. In terms of overall sound quality, you know, they had the sort of depth to them through the features on them. These don't have that feature, but when it comes to sound quality as just pure quality, they are comparable, and I think they are around the same price as well. But when you start using the inbuilt preamp and when you start upping the bass, because they have those two speakers in, you know, a lot of headphones, they have a problem with making it equal, and these don't seem to have that problem. You know, you can up the bass, and yes, it does slightly distort the sound. I mean, obviously you get the extra bass, but it doesn't distort sort of the higher frequencies as well. You do still get the clear higher frequencies there. You just get this sort of this massive head shaking vibration from the bass. I mean, I can feel my earlobes wobble when I have them on max. But yeah, they are so adaptable, because when you use them for music and you can turn the bass down, they sound good. They sound really good for the price. But then you also have that added sort of bonus feature of being able to turn up the bass and use them, for example, if you were watching a movie with lots of explosions, it just gives it that sort of extra effect. And if you were to use them in gaming as well, you've got that extra bass for gaming, because they are mainly designed for gaming. They are gaming headphones. So yeah, I've found out that in terms of noise, in terms of sound performance, they are very adaptable, and they are a very, very good sound quality wise pair of headphones. Okay, so there's two things when it comes to performance as well that I want to mention, and that's sound isolation and sort of noise cancellation. These don't have active noise cancellation, but it's not really needed because they're so loud, and if you turn the bass up, they're so sort of in your face that you can't actually really hear anything from the outside world anyway, so you don't need that active noise cancellation. But a downside to this is when it comes to sound isolation, even though they do say that they're closed back headphones, they sound from the outside to someone who's not listening to them. They do sound like they're open style headphones, because they do leak a lot of sound, especially with the bass turned up. I mean, I've been wearing them a few times, and sometimes people will say, you know, have you got your headphones plugged in, because it sounds like it's coming from the speakers. So yeah, depending on how loud you have them, they can leak quite a bit of noise. I think there's a sort of threshold where it starts to leak more and more, and that's around obviously 50%, but it doesn't need active noise cancellation because they're loud enough anyway, so you can't really hear the outside world. Even when it's down low, you can't really hear it, and its sound isolation isn't its best aspect. But you know, if you're gaming, if you're wanting to watch a movie, essentially, you know, it isn't that big a problem. So yeah, let's get on to my conclusion. So my conclusion on these headphones, I'm going to start off by saying, you know, for a sort of a first range of headphones, because there's the NC1s, the NC2s, for a first sort of range to be released by a company, they are very, very impressive headphones. Yes, they do have a certain few problems which might need like sort of tweaked when they release their new headphones in the future, but you know, they remind me very much of Fractal Design's Define cases. When they released their Define cases, there were so many things wrong with them, and that's, you know, we're on the Define R4 now. There were so many things wrong, but it had that essence of sort of, it had things that other cases didn't. For example, I think the first one, you know, it had 8 hard drive bays or whatever, and a lot of cases back then didn't look that good and have those kinds of features. But yeah, what I'm trying to get at is, you know, these might be one of them things that just completely it kicks off, and it, everybody gets them, and yes, they have the few niggles, but in the future, you know, this all comes with experience from, you know, companies. You'll see companies that have been working for years and years and years, and they will have already known to look out for these things. But yeah, it just comes with experience. And these are very impressive headphones for a sort of first release. The amount of features that come with these headphones is like, it's crazy. For the price, you are very lucky to get this amount of features. You know, you've got an active preamp, which obviously needs the battery, so you can up the bass. You have the sort of smartphone compatibility. You've got everything, you know, 2 speakers. It's crazy for the price, and the sound quality is there as well. It's up there comparing with a lot of very well-known brands' headphones, and that's what I'm talking about, is their best headphones in those price ranges. So yeah, they are very, very good headphones for the price. So I will say goodbye now, and let you go and read my written review as well, and see the whole, you know, because I do verdicts and stuff there as well, where I give it a rating. So yeah, I'll say goodbye, and I'll let you check out all of that stuff as well. So that was the video review of the Oblanc NC2-2 UFO headphones. Head over to the Haltech TV website, because there's a lot of content on there. Like I said, with the written reviews and everything, there's a lot of content on there that you won't find anywhere else on the Haltech TV network. And while you're there, don't forget to bookmark it so that you can go back and check periodically for more stuff. If you have any questions or requests for me to review certain products, head over to the website using there's a link down below, and you can go to the section where you can send in your questions or request a particular product to be reviewed. If you want to contact me regarding any sort of business, use the email down in the description box below. But other than that, I'm Hal Thompson. This has been another Haltech TV video. Don't forget to subscribe, do everything I've just asked you to do, and goodbye.